Welcome guys to my YouTube channel. So today we'll be looking at adding SSL to Cloudinary. So because let me just show you an example before we get to this. So basically what I did is just create React app. So I never did anything. We're going to be starting this from scratch. So but then what I mean is let's look at the project that we built on the e-commerce. So if you didn't see this build, I have the link in the description below and the link at the top, whereby the full build of an e-commerce website, right? And currently we're busy with real estate. So what I mean while this one is loading is, let's say now we go to the to rent. So on the to rent, we're getting images from Cloudinary via URL. So here, as you can see, it is secure because the images are coming as HTTPS. But then now let's look at this one. Right, so let's go to hoodies, and immediately we go to hoodies. Did you see that change there? It shows that let's just click on that. The site information for that part of the page are not secure, such as images, because the images are coming as HTTP. So now we want to look at how to resolve that problem, because when Cloudinary brings back, okay, so I thought maybe there'll be a console log here. So because when Cloudinary gives back a URL, it gives us HTTP instead of HTTPS. So now let's look at how we can resolve that. So now let's just go inside our project and let's get that done. It will be a nice quick build for you guys. Not a build actually, just a tutorial. Because it has always frustrated me on getting HTTP and not HTTPS. So now here we have a client. Right, now let's initialize also, because we'll need Node.js. So you can say npm init. Not here, man, not here. My bad. Let's go inside this folder, Cloudinary. So yeah, we have the client. Hold on. Okay, yeah, it should be here, I guess, because this is the client side. I'm normally if you see my tutorials, I say client instead of this. So I'm guessing it's this one, right? Because I said npm Cloudinary that instead of client. Okay, so we'll say npm init. And then when we do that, that will be fine. Description, that is fine. Entry point, server.js, test that. I guess I can add the author, junior, that, right. So now let's install the dependencies that we'll need. We'll need Express, we'll need Mongoose, we'll need Formidable, we'll need Cause, we'll need Cloudinary, we'll need Express, Mongoose for Cause, Formidable, .env, and --save. Right. So if we will also need node.mon, but then that will be a dev dependency. So now while that it's doing its thing, we come in here in the client. So I'm a huge fan of just deleting everything that just comes with create React app. You start from scratch, right? So we remove all this. So now let's start with all the entry points. Index.js, come on, man, and the app.js, and then file upload. .jsx. So there won't be like too many things, just these three should work for us. We won't be focusing heavy on styling and everything. Here's just for adding SSL into your thing. What's this one? into your Cloudinary. So what I'll do is I'll just say RAFCE. Okay, so RAFCE worked here, it doesn't work. Come on, what's happening with my JSX? The simple thing is I just copy this, since my IntelliSense don't want to work, I'm just lazy to write. And I will copy that, and then I say file, upload. Right, so in here we'll just have a simple label that will say upload file, and I will have an input. Just that's all we need, guys. And then we have an input of type file, and yeah, and then we'll need to manage state. So let's get that here. We say use state, and then we say const file set file is equal to use state, and initially that should be now, and then we say on change I want to set file to we get that e, and then we say e dot target dot files and 0. Right, so this should be it. Styling, like I said, I won't focus on styling. We want to focus on functionality of getting that HTTPS. Right, so we say file upload, and that should do. And then coming here, get that react DOM.render, and then we want to render the app, and we say document.get element by ID, and we want to get the root. Right, so now we have everything ready. Right, now let's go to our terminal. So we have that, all the server things ready, and we need Cloudinary, right. So npm start, and then we'll deal with the server, because this is where the logic comes into play, the server. So now you get that HTTPS. So right now just be getting your, okay, while that is loading. Right, so now let's come to your MongoDB. So you want to create your project, and then we'll name your project, let's say Cloudinary upload. So you can name it whatever that you guys want, and then we create the project. Right, so that is opening there by localhost. Let's see, so we can just close this one. Now that I've showed you guys, we can close this project, and then we want to create a cluster. Right, so do that, and we're looking for the free tier 1. That's what we want to get. And there's no, you guys can name your cluster whatever that you want if you guys want to name it, but then I don't see a need for that for myself. But then you can name it here, and if you don't name it, you won't be able to change it. Now let's come to database access. So with database access, I'll create a temp user that will stay just for 6 hours, and even less, test, and then we generate the code. I want to show the code. Come on. And then copy that code, and we make this user a temp user. 6 hours is fine. I would have been finished with this, so I just want to take this thing, let's close that, and then have our server.js. So let me just copy that there. That will be the password, and network access. There's no need to do a lot. Just allow all. That way I'm gonna delete this cluster. So we should be ready to connect to our database. Let's go back to the cluster. So it is still busy doing its thing. So yeah, we have this file upload that we can click, and then we'll upload a file that we want. So now let's download a file, any file. Let's say programming language images. I didn't know what to search. Images. Right. Okay. Google is detecting this for me. What's happening? Crosswalks. That. Come on, man. Verify. Okay. So we have. Let's just download this image. We'll save. Come on. Let's go to images. Save image as. Let's take it to the desktop. There we go. And 2 will be fine. 2 will be fine for this tutorial, and it might be a lot. Right. So we have those images that we need, and currently right now, if I go to desktop and get that, nothing happens. So I need the submit button. I will need a button. That's what I forgot. So I will need a button to submit this, and then we'll say upload image, upload file, whatever that is. Cloudinary holds every file that you can think of. Right. So we have that button. We have that. So I can get here, do that. Currently doesn't do anything. Right. So now let's manage state. So let's say on click, we wanna upload file. Right. So when I get that, so const that, and then I just wanna console log out the file to make sure that I am getting the file. Alright. Really simple, and if after finishing this, you will realize that adding the SSL to your images is actually simple. It is not rocket science. Like, I legit searched on how I can add my images to come as HTTPS, and I got a lot of people saying that while this is open, I don't know what's happening with my. So I got a lot of people saying that you have to add secure being true. So I don't know how you add that. So I decided, let's come up with a solution, a manual solution. So this is what I'm gonna give you, a manual solution that will take you 3 minutes or less to do. Okay, there we go. We get that image. So it will take you a few minutes to get it done, but that definitely will get it done. So while we're busy with the server, let's get Axios into the game. Right. So just for a bit, let me just say cd Cloudinary, and let's get Axios into the game. npm I, so that once we're done with the server, all we have to do is just handle the the client, right? So while exit is coming into the game, what I want to do is in the source I'll just make an axios.js file, and then I'll import axios from axios. So doing this, I believe it's best practice of creating your axios instance. So it's something that you guys should look at. So axios dot create. So in the create, I'm looking to get my base URL. So my URL will be coming from localhost, and then if you host this thing, you have to change your base URL. So localhost, I will do 5,000. Just prefer using 5,000. So now my axios is practically done. So now our client is ready to deal with the server. Right, so now let's set up our server so that our client can have something to interact with. So this thing is still busy. Okay, I can connect right now. So now what we want to do is we want to get our Mongo URI connection. So this is our connection. You copy that. So everything will be done in one folder. There's no need to split this things. So, but then what I'll do is definitely for best practices, I'll definitely include a .env file. And I'll say Mongo URI, and you guys should be using your own like details, because this won't work for you guys, because once this video is up, all this connection string won't be even existing. So you want to change this password. No man, I want to change that password there. So if you want to use another database name, you'd change this name, unless MongoDB will use the DB name dot collection that you'll name. So I'm just lazy to do that. Nothing that important to me. So now our .env is fine. So now we want to get our Cloudinary information, right? So you need your cloud name in order to handle Cloudinary. So we'll get that, and we'll say cloud underscore name. It should be cloud underscore name. That is that. And we need our API key. That is copied. So we need the API underscore key. Do that. And we need our API secret, and definitely this I'll be hiding, guys, because like it says, it's a secret. So API secret. So this is the names that we need. So I'll just okay, so it's cloud name, API secret, and all that, right? So now we come in here. So now we want to say const mongoose const express is equal to require express, and then const mongoose is equal to require mongoose. Const cause is equal to require cause. So this is all the dependencies that we'll be using. Formidable is equal to so this one is for body parsing. So I could have used Malta, but then I prefer using Formidable. And I'll need Cloudinary is equal to require Cloudinary.v2. We'll be using the v2. So this should be it. This should definitely give me all that I need. So noting that I'll be writing everything here in just one file. So I'll be separating all this by comments, right? So I'll say Cloudinary and MongoDB configs. Right, so this is what we need in order for us to set up our MongoDB and Cloudinary. And we'll also require .env.config. Right. So here we'll say const mongo URI is equal to process.env.mongo-URI. Right. And then we need our Cloudinary instance. We say Cloudinary.config. We need the cloud underscore name. That will be the process.env.cloud underscore name. We need the API underscore key. That will be the process.env.api underscore API secret, right? I don't know why it's doing this. So with an API underscore secret, that will be coming from process process.env.api underscore secret. So this will be all configs that I'll be needing. So under here we need to have our MongoDB connection. So say MongoDB connection, right? So I'm separating all this with comments so that it is making sense. So in here I will say mongoose.connect. I want to connect with our Mongo URI. So while I'm still busy doing this, let's be installing NodeMon because I don't want to be restarting the server. So I just go back to that. Now I'm where I say npm I NodeMon --save -dev. Right. So NodeMon, and I don't know why I'm saying a double G. It should be Mongo URI like so. Right. So I want to connect to that, and then we'll say use happening. So use new URL parser. We said that should be true. Use find and modify. Will I be modifying anything? Nope. Use unified topology. This is true. And MongoDB is either gonna return back to me an error. So if it does, you wanna catch that. So if there's an error, I want you to log out, return log of that error, and then else if there's no error, I want you to return log of connection to MongoDB was successful. Right, so now I've instantiated my MongoDB. So now we have to come to the app configurations right now, right? So app configs. So in the app configs, it's not a lot, it's only the port. So here what we do is, I'm going to say const app is equal to express and const port is equal to, So process .env.port or 5000. So this is for production, and this is a fallback when we're in dev mode, right? So now we say we want our server entry. So we want our server entry, right? So our server entry is app.listen. We want to listen to that port, and then it returns to us a callback, and in that callback we log out server started on port I should be using backticks. There we go. The server started on port, that port number, right? And now this should work. My node mon should be available by now, and if I'm going too fast, I'll definitely try and go through this again. And right, so our start is always your start should be node server.js, right? And you have to have a dev. So your start is something that maybe if you're deploying on Heroku will use. And here on the dev we want to use node mon and then server.js, right? So now this should do me justice, and let's start up our server, right? Let's see if this works. Okay, so server started on port 5000. Now let's look at our MongoDB connection. There we go. So it's successfully connected to MongoDB, right? So now let's make a route for accepting an image, right? So our app config, should I take it down? Shouldn't I? Should I take it down or shouldn't I? Think. Okay, so normally I just do this. I take all those configs down, the app configs, but then noting that this is not something that you guys should follow. It's just my way of working. So right now I need to have my route for file upload, right? So this is the route for file upload. So everything should make sense with comments and all that. So what we're doing here is app.post, and in the app.post we'll say API/file-upload, right? So we then get a request, a response, and what happens is we'll need our formidable to pass this request. So new formidable.incoming form, and then we say form.pass, and it passes the request, and then we'll make it asynchronous, and it will give back an error if there's any errors. If there's fields, we need to catch that. If there's files, we need to catch that, right? And then from here what's happening is we'll destructure this, and we'll be taking out the image, and this will be coming from files, right? So once we have destructured that, we can now log out, and we say image.path, just to make sure that we are getting everything right. And now that should give back our file. So now what we do is let's go back to a client. So I thought I'll be using Postman, but then it'll be a lot of work. So now in our app, not in our app, but then in our this one, so we have our Axios, right, that we've created this one, if you guys still remember. So So this was just for us to avoid writing this thousand. So this is a best practice. Instead of you writing this thousands of times, you import this and that instance is already created for you, having your base URL. So this is best practice, something that you guys should look at. So say import Axios from, so we import it from that folder or file, this one, right? So this is the Axios that we need. So when we hit this file upload, we want to say Axios. Okay, so we need our data form, that is the form data. So the new form data, right? And then we say data.append, and the data.append will be images, and I wanna have that file because that's what our server is getting at, image. So let's fix that to being image. Note that that should correspond, and then we have now our file. So now what we do is just say axios.post. Hold on, axios.post. What's happening now with my Axios? Did I not do this instance correctly? Import Axios from Axios, right? And then const instance is equals to Axios dot create, and we need a base URL that will be http that localhost and port 5000, http localhost. Right, now that should do me justice. Oh yeah, I didn't export this, that's why it's not working. So export default instance, so hence this thing wasn't working. Makes sense now. I shouldn't have even write that whole thing. So axios dot post, so now you can see that I'm getting everything that is coming from that. So it works just as I should have done with Axios only. So yeah, we say const URL, and then we say /API /file -upload. I think that's how I named it in my server, like that. So let me just copy, just avoid unnecessary errors. We copy that, right? So now what we do is we paste that URL, and then we paste that data, and I didn't name that, so it's URL. So I paste that URL, I paste that data, and then .then. So I want to get a response from the server, so I want to log out the response data, and then if there's any errors that we're getting, I want to catch that, and I want to log out the error that I will be getting from the server, right? So now we are ready to upload, and our system is ready, right, to receive. So I'm getting an error, cannot access, did I say app? Hold on, let's see. Okay, oh yeah, I understand what's happening in the server. So let's go back to the server and our app configs. Our app configs, this should be here with the rest, and that should work because you cannot access, that's basic program, you cannot access a variable that is assigned after initialization. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I said that properly. So app configs, we're looking at cores here, that is app configs. Alright, so app.use, so middleware is something that I need before any route. That's a middleware that I'll need. There's the only middleware that will be needing. So middleware, we need app.use cores, right? So that is the only middleware that we'll be using. And then right, so now let's just go to our browser. Let's see if we are getting what we want. So let's refresh this page. Let's try getting those files and we upload. Let's see the response that we get from the server. Oh yeah, it should be, oh, we're not returning anything, it will log out. So here's the file that we wanted, right? So this is the path that we want. So definitely here we're not gonna get any response because we didn't return any response. Makes sense. But then now we have that file path that we want to upload on Cloudinary. So now what we do is let's continue here. So now we know that the image.path is actually working, right? So now what we do is we say Cloudinary dot uploader dot upload, and I want to upload the image dot path, and then folder. So if you wanted to have a folder, you could say folder, and then you specify the folder, which will be test dash folder, right? And then Cloudinary will definitely return back to you. Okay, why did I need Mongoose? Oh, to save on the database. It's fine. I'll even show that. I was thinking, okay, so Cloudinary will return an error back to you, or it returns back to you results, right? So now let's return the response of this result so that you can see where we are getting at, right? So we say status of 200 and .json, and I want to return the results dot URL. So this is what I want to return. So you'll see that the URL that we'll be getting here is actually an HTTP. So that's what we want to resolve, whatever. So now let's get back to this image again. Let's upload that. Let's see the response. Okay, so now it uploaded, right? So it's giving us an HTTP, right? So but then we see that that is what we uploaded, right? Let's go there. That is the file that we uploaded, right? But then we want to have this HTTP. So normally, if you have the time and energy, which I doubt you would, you'd just copy this URL and replace. But then imagine if you had 100 images. So now let's solve that problem, right? So what you do is you have that image, right? So now you say const image array, right? So you want to say results dot URL dot split, and you want to split from the semicolon. So let's go here. So we have that semicolon, so we want to split by that semicolon, and we add our own s. So that's the manual way, and we add our own s and bring back that semicolon. So now we say const protocol, because that is the HTTP, and that will be image array of 0, because if we split by there, let's go back so that you can see properly, because if we split by the semicolon, we'd have two elements in our array, that is the HTTP and the / that res whatever, right? So now we know that the 0th index is our HTTP, so we add s, and then we do that, we add that semicolon to bring that back, because when you split by that semicolon, you're actually removing that semicolon, right? And then finally you want to say SSL. This is something that you could have named it anything. SSL image URL is equal to the protocol plus the image array of 1. That is the second index that we had. So now we have to return a response dot status of 200 dot JSON, and we return the SSL underscore image URL. So now let's see if in our response we'll be getting an HTTPS and if it will work, right? So now our server is up. So now let's try and send this again. We'll be sending that one, a different one right now. So we upload that one, and here we go, we have the HTTPS and that image. So now let's click on that, and you can see that we having our URL. So this URL will actually help your live, like a production web page, to have HTTPS, and your image won't, your web page won't cry saying that you have a non secure whatever that's happening. So now this is how you would ensure to have your HTTPS. So however, now let's save to a MongoDB, right? So just do that. So we need our schema. So let's say MongoDB model and schema, right? So we say const schema. Let's say image schema is equals to mongoose dot schema. So I just want the image, man. I don't want a lot. I just want the image. This will be a type of string, and required is true, right? This is all I need. And I say const image model is equal to mongoose dot model, and that will be images, and we'll be using the image schema, right? So now what we want to do is, before we return anything, we just want to say const new image is equal to new image model, and I say image is equal to SSL image URL, and then const saved image is equal to new image dot save, and we want to await this process. And then finally we return a response dot status of 200 dot JSON, and we say saved image. So now this is the entire process that you would handle in your project of now getting an HTTPS and then uploading to your MongoDB. So now let's go back to our client and let's do that. Let's close this, and we can do that. So now we need our MongoDB. We'll go to collections so that will work for us properly. So now we want to get a file, index that, and then we upload, right? And then once done uploading that, we get that response, so we know that that is HTTPS, all that. So if you go to your MongoDB collections, you will definitely see that effect of uploading, and it's an HTTPS, and you know that your live project won't cry saying that there's things that are not secure. So now you can see that let's zoom that. So you see that we have that HTTPS. Right. So if I were to click on that URL, and I paste it here, we'll definitely get that HTTPS. Now let's just go through that code one more time so that we show that everyone is following, right? So we have all the dependencies, that is Express, Mongoose, calls, Formidable, Cloudinary, .env, and Express app that we made. So this is our configuration. So you need the cloud name, you need the API key, you need the secret that you get from your MongoDB, not your MongoDB, but your Cloudinary dashboard. This is just a connection, new URL parser, unified topology. There's the new like the deprecations that they've added, so that if you do not add this, then your MongoDB won't work just fine. So here we have our middleware, that is cause, so that our app, that is the React app, can work with the MongoDB, not MongoDB, but in our server. So this is just our little schema and model. So yeah, what's happening, the meat and bone of everything. So we need Formidable to pass our request to get the file. So you could have used Malta, you could have used anything that you want, but then I just prefer Formidable. And then we say form.pass, and we make this asynchronous. We have the error fields and files. So now we have the images coming from the files, so we just destructured that, because if we just had manually done this, like files dot whatever, it could work, but then ES6 guys. So and then now we use cloudinary.uploaded.upload. We uploaded the image.path, and in the folder test dash folder, asynchronous operation, and then here we split with semicolon, and then we modified that and added our S and then we combined the first one with the protocol, the modified protocol. We have now our that, and then we save. So this was a short tutorial, nice short tutorial to adding your own SSL to your app. Yeah, so I hope you guys liked this video. Please hit that like button, subscribe and share, guys. Hoping to see you guys on the next video. Goodbye.